Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Empire Total War 2 with this Scottish campaign. Last time around we ended off on a cliffhanger as I had laid siege to Brussels, but they sallied forth, or I guess the siege was up and the fight was inevitable. What I decided to do was play it off camera, because not only would this battle occur, but the battle up here in Detroit as well, and if I'd fit those two battles in, I would not have time what I actually want to do, which is the Battle of Paris, which is what we're going to do today. Now, because there's about 20,000 on each side, I'm going to go ahead and set unlimited. So there's no chance of them winning just by trickling in reinforcements. What is going to be important here is what comes in as reinforcements. So I definitely don't want the general to come in right away. Instead, we want the cavalry for quick support, or at least for one of these armies. And then I figure the howitzers got pretty long range, and then cannons. So that's for the first army, or Ross Elton. And then for the second army, which have their units in full strength, there will have infantry come marching in. I'm imagining that both these armies will be marching their troops in as reinforcements at about the same time, so that I will gain... Why does this one only has 2 Irish units? Or am I mistaken? But they will, there will one from this army, one from this army, so that one will give me cavalry and cannons, and the other one will give me infantry in this case, which I think will work out just fine. So I have about 20,000, or we have 13,000 in reinforcement, 7,000 men on the field. We meet a 7,000 strong French force, and then they have about 10,000, I think. It's hard to tell, but around 10,000 men in reinforcements of a wide variety. Most of the reinforcement is going to be other French troops, but we also have quite a lot of Spanish, including Scottish mercenaries. See if I get a chance to show what we do with traitors. Although I imagine this is going to be quite the fight. So I should stop talking and start this fight. Right. And so the battle is underway, the army is moving forward. We've already gone ahead and deployed forward units. In this case the horse-drawn artillery. And the cavalry. Let's see if I can target I figure the easiest to target at this point would be a cavalry unit. But there's no one to be seen, or at least not among these troops. Here I figured I would be able to set up my guns early. I think we need to move this one a little bit further forward. Unleash pistol fire on the enemy cavalry. I figure the ones all the way out into the edges should probably hold fire. Right. Is that a good position for the artillery? I wonder if... I don't know how much closer I dare to roll the guns. But we need a good angle to be able to fire canister onto these guys. I decided to run 2 brigades of infantry so that I could get support for the guns early on. I'm surprised we haven't killed this one. I'm gonna move forward 2 units on the flanks and see about holding the enemy off further. Right, I just spotted some cavalry. We'll aim for the one in the back. Right, we just forced those guys away. You should hold fire. We want to see if we can hold these guys back a little bit, or even, as we see now, force them into square. And then I also want to kill off that stupid general. Look at that. They're all forced to go into square here. Alright, the general is gone. Move the cavalry aside. Get the brigade up here. Right, move them aside. Let's hope this works perfectly. Oh, they're all in square. Imagine if I had brought howitzers. Okay, so I did not like the outcome of that canister. Yeah, the angle of the hill does not really favor me. Let's get the cuirassiers over to this side, and then the infantry will come up on either side here. Actually, what we'll do is we'll have the cuirassiers sit there, and then you'll sit behind behind the cannons, which should continuously spray canister that way. You should now move back, because there's so much going on. Normally, I don't allow myself to go into slow-mo, but there's so much going on here that I figured it is okay for this time. Right, and let's see. Reserve brigade. And then the big gun. I figured with where the enemy's coming in, I would need it somewhere around where it's on its way already, actually. Right. Hopefully the cavalry will hold off the French cuirassiers. Looks like that was a pretty good canister on the Swiss Regiment of Flanders. But they're going straight into this. I'm gonna aim for the one in the back. Oh. What's this? French Cuirassier Regiment. Let's take a look here so we don't shoot in to our own men. I'm gonna set a target in the back there. Try not to shoot our own men. That looks like it's a pretty good angle with the canister. They made square right in their attack. I shouldn't complain though, that's usually what I do. Right, now there's, I think that's infantry, so I need to move them back. Tell the gun to hold fire. Oh, you should also hold fire. Oh, the square held my men back there. God damn it. Right, do I have a brigade on its way here to support? Right, can you fire a round shot that way and aid? Oh, they're moving troops onto my flank. We'll move the Irish out to cover that. And then back here, heavy fighting. This unit's down to 135. Not too bad, but not too good either. Right, the Spanish force was forced away. I figure the 135 men will be sent off. Leave the field there. Okay, so what do I have in brigade coming up here? Scottish Line Infantry. They will join here. Let's go ahead and make sure that we anchor it on the side of the gun. And then something like that. And all of these guys are running away. It's kind of crazy how the French are now coming in to go on this exact same route of attack. Are they bringing up any guns or anything? What I noticed in the beginning, I should say, I'm looking for the reinforcement armies, if they bring up any guns. Because the enemy guns are dug in here and then over here. So I think I anticipated that in the end of last episode, that the enemy would dig in and kind of screw themselves over there by having such poor artillery positions. Oh, they're bringing their bloody cavalry all the way around. Right, cuirassiers. You'll cover that bit right there. And then I have the Royal Guards set up here. Right, we'll move you slightly back. And then what I'm thinking is... Oh, it's another general, is it? No, it's a full-on unit. And then as the enemy kind of gets closer, perhaps attacking towards here, then is when we kind of pull back the line. I wonder... The thing is, I don't want to give up the woods just yet. Just because... I mean, it's such good cover. But at the same time, I figure I can actually pull these guys back so that I can allow the 24-pounder gun to use its... yeah, they've moved all the way around. Huh. I'll deploy the Highland Grenadiers in support of this. And then this Lord Gordon's regiment will also turn to face that way. Alright, we'll order you to leave. And then the guards, that's Culloden's own, I believe. Yeah, he's right behind the cannons there. You should aim that way. Given where the enemy is attacking, I figure we would weight the reserve regiments more towards this side than over here. I figure this is the stronger bit here, right here. And it's going to be more difficult for us to defend the woods. Oh, they're now attacking or something. I don't know what they're doing. They're coming in a very odd way. I'll go ahead and have the 1st regiment fire pistol to start off with. I think we can bring these cavalry units just a little smidge further back, and then you should start to lay canister on the enemy. And this line should come back just a little bit. Alright, we've got a mass of troops coming in here. We need to focus on that. In terms of where I need to lay down my canister. Otherwise it looks like we're holding pretty well. Good canister. I figure now though that this regiment down here is actually same time I think the aim is better here. Oh. Don't tell me they're gonna attack the guns and force them to leave their guns or something. Can someone deal with these stupid generals? pissing me off quite a bit. I was kind of lucky there that it didn't just send the entire cannon crew away to recover. We're gonna have to replace these two pretty soon. So I'll move Culloden Zone and more of the guard infantry over there. And we might have to replace at least one of the units here. This one's taking a heavy beating, which I haven't noticed why. Oh yeah, I completely forgot about this fight right here. The Irish will deploy in line to shoot them up the flank. I'm actually losing one of my cuirassier units due to this for their musketeers. Also, they're coming in that way, which is not a super great angle for the regiments. We're gonna have to aim both guns this way and perhaps move the cavalry out to deal with that. Oh, they're coming straight on. That's not good. Guard units up to the front. I'm being attacked very heavily. Multiple areas here. Right, now we can focus in on that. Right, and we won. Good. Heavy cavalry come back. We held them off. I thought perhaps I was about to lose my cannon position. I will order these two line infantries to pull back just slightly. We'll have to actually have the guards charge in one position to keep the enemy off the guns. And then these two units are gonna have to be replaced now. And then have Lord Gordons come up. The enemy is coming a little bit too close here. Actually hold fire for now and then go in there, and then we'll have two others going out that way. We might actually want to send these guys out on a sortie that way. Oh no, they were drawn into the fight. That's not good. I was hoping I'd be able to keep the artillery moving for a longer time. The cavalry got stuck there. I'm gonna see about getting the other two units to attack through that way. Ooh, the Lord Gordon's guard infantry here. That whatever they've got down there, it's very strong. I think it's the position more so than the units, perhaps. Clan MacDonald, Culloden's own. We'll have the Scottish line infantry move to the back. And then the two guard infantry will take over now and trade fire with the enemy. We charged into that, but I think I might have shot canister into my own back. Oh, they broke there, and now they broke here as well. Order them to hold fire. Heavy cavalry will go in hard on that. Let's take a look. Right, they've come forward and now taking more of a beating. Hold fire. Get back on the guns. Get me some canister going that way. Cavalry going through, pushing the enemy off. Kind of a gap forming here. So I'll order the Grenadiers to come in and aid there. Still a lot of enemies in this area. Canister. That way. Alright, let's recall this cavalry and actually deal with that regiment right there. The line is doing fine, but I will sweep the cavalry through here while I order my troops to hold fire and see what we can do there. Perhaps not the best, but that's what we can do right now. Still lots of enemies here. I figure perhaps I can move these two into an attack there. Alright, they broke that up. But now the cavalry is this cavalry is kind of very much spent and needs to come back. How are we... we have such trouble dealing with this one unit. Hold fire. These two Scottish line infantry will move up. Set them to hopefully fire on them and start moving and doing some silly things. Oh, yeah, the heavy cavalry attack did not go well. Should have paid more attention over there. Also, that I think that line should be drawn back. Right now, finally, I think just the way they were situated here on the hill allowed them to hold a really good position against me. But now we were able to force them off. There's not really much any more enemies coming here, so we'll have these move back, and then we'll start to actually move some units out here and start to attack and force the enemy out of the woods. And then I think we'll contract this entire line to something like this. All the heavy cavalry was sent off. The cavalry I have left, though, will come to this side and try and aid. This, I don't know what happened with this battery. You know what? We should limber it up and reposition it, just because it's all over the place. Fire canister towards the woods and clear that. Meanwhile, this is kind of a mix of infantry, I think. 2 units of Scottish line infantry and 2 guards. They can come march up after the others there. Perhaps there's a risk of firing canister into that. The enemy formed a square all the way up there. Right. Let's set the guns again. And see, I think I can at least get 4 cannons out of that. Right, all that canister. Clear the woods. Good. Now it's just the troops on this side that are needing to be dealt with. I'm gonna move up one of the grenadiers, put him in between the cannons here. Actually 2, in case they get closer, I'll charge in. Alright, and you come up here. The line looks fine here. Once again, I'll kind of contract this bit. Drag them closer towards me. Scottish line infantry firing at Grenadiers of the King. I'll actually swing this unit up. Actually, both units will be swung up to deal with that. Meanwhile, you of course firing that way. And more Grenadiers of the King. However, these guys standing pretty poorly in position compared to my cannon. Right, we've got some units that have rallied. 2 guard infantry will be able to deal with the Surbeck regiment. And now these guys have marched in range of fire of the Irish. It's the purple... which Teletubby is the purple one? Timpsy Winksy? I don't know. It's not I'm a little bit too old for Timpsy Winksy and the other the fellows. At least this gun is still being able to be moved, which is good. And I do in fact can move this one as well. The Grenadiers of the King it taken a mighty beating before they are forced away. Switch a round shot, fire on that. Switch a round shot, fire on that. The Roussillon regiment. Could that be because of their striking red color? I don't know, French. Could just as well be the fish eaters. Here's another regiment of the French King. They're holding 25 of them, 22 actually, holding out against my regiment of 126. There's no point actually in charging that away. This can't be all though, because I guess they haven't been able to lose enough men that the battle will come to an end. There's still some troops here holding on. We'll reorganize Scottish Line Infantry. We'll reorganize the Irish Brigade. Cavalry will come closer. And then let's see about getting the troops out of the woods here. But organizing them after the brigade. So Guard Brigade. Line Infantry Brigade. And then in reserve we got Lord Gordon's. No point in pointing them that way, since the cavalry was dealt with. Swiss Grenadiers. I figure I can pull these guys even further back and kind of try and lure the enemy closer. And then we'll have the cavalry come out here and then charge through and get rid of that. And hopefully that way we'll get rid of them. But the question is, where is the enemy reinforcement? So this is supposed to come French forces and then also Spanish forces. Perhaps I should actually go behind the impossible terrain here. Alright, charge that way. Ah, crap! We got Frenchies, froggies coming up right behind us. That's not good. Let's move into action quickly to deal with that. Because this is dangerous. French cuirassiers coming up behind us. The Irish need to be moved in here as well. Meanwhile, the cavalry is dealing with all of this. I think then also the guns need to be moved. Right, so the first cuirassier unit was mauled. Going in on the Lord Gordon's brigade. Damn, a lot of pistol fire there. I think, if I'm not entirely mistaken, the French force is one of the bigger reinforcements. God damn it. Like sending out the stupid generals constantly. Right, let's move the guns to deal with this. But then we still have some of the line infantry here to cover the back if that's necessary. Now the general can face that way. The cavalry sent that off. At this point though, the two smaller cavalry units might actually be ordered to head this way and try and break through and get rid of the enemy cannons. Right. Even though it's a little bit of a shit tactic, we should push them as close to the edge as possible and surround them there. Probably do want to deploy the cannons though to save on manpower. And one cavalry unit ready to oh, what? Both of my cavalry units were actually sent away. I missed what happened there. The Royal Point. That's how much? That's the amount of points that France is willing to give Scotland in Eurovision. It means 2, right? I think. I don't know. We'll turn this right here. This is going to be one problem, that the enemy is going to try and just run straight into us. Trying to focus in all the troops here. It's chasseurs à pied, so I don't know why they've sent them in charging in. Oh, you're braking already? Alright, let's get the guns in order. Doesn't look like we're gonna get attacked from this side, so that'll be fine. Right, the chasseur à pied was forced away, which is good. I want to open up now for the artillery to take a big part in this part of the battle. Hold fire for now. Actually, we're not close to the edge, so the canister will only be effective once they get up to about here. So basically point blank. I'll have to roll the guns all the way up here if I want them to be effective. I think though that the enemy will humor me by marching right into my troops. I should actually send the infantry to deal with the cannons, so they can march through some of the obstacles. Because if we go ahead and look, they dug in to such an extent. They dug in the cannon, and then they dug in all along the way here, and then more cannons, And then more dug in, and then another cannon there. And oh, look at that. They even go all the way up here. They're corner camping. What the crap? What the crapperino? Have you... Oh, they're now within range of my canister. I say, sir, you are free to blow them away. It's the French Guard units. Even with them being this close, it looked like some of their shots went high. I take that back, as the regiment lost about 100 men due to that fire. I think the Irish is gonna have to come... They're gonna have to spread out a little bit more and come a little bit closer, and that will allow the Grenadiers to extend their lines and put more men on the line ready to charge. And then that brigade is moving away, and then we'll have these guys as reserve. I figure the left side here is actually the weaker side. What that crap is the Diesbach? They've got Germans of their own. I don't actually have any Germans in my army. Or not present. I do now, when I think about it, I do have plenty of Austrians. What do we have? Swiss Grenadiers. And then more French Guards. And more of the Royal Dupont. And Grenadiers of the King. Lots and lots of guard units. This part needs to move forward a little bit so everyone can take part in the fighting. It is tempting, as I've surrounded them, to charge in, knowing though that it's all the cream of the crop in terms of guard units. Means that that's very unlikely to happen. And if I did it, I would surely lose. And even now, just trading fire like this, we might still break apart. A lot of units have lost at least half of their manpower. And because of the smoke, I can't really tell. I wonder here after this if I should order my army to try and retreat and have 2 reinforcement armies coming in. Even with me sort of almost cheating in this way, where I've cornered them like this, even with that, we're not actually doing like super well against them. Can I get all the way now with the Irish? And then the Grenadiers will join in. As I said, I'm mostly worried about this side. We'll have 3 units come down here to support. And then we have 3 units here to support. Oh, here comes the stupid general. Deciding he wants to fight my cannons. Oh, he managed to. He actually managed to attack there. The bastard. And he forced my cannon crew to abandon that. It's too early really for the cavalry to go in, but I figured I needed to hold them back a little bit. Alright, let's come back here. Oh, now the Spanish are coming in. They're gonna come... Oh, crap. Both armies are gonna come in one after the other. That means that I'm gonna have to fight all of this, not just... I wonder here if I can actually force this part up. And perhaps I can move this gun. This gun, unfortunately, I cannot move anymore. Oh, they've even been able to set their guns up. I figure though the Spanish have not brought as many elite units, so it might be easier to force them back. I'm gonna order up the guards, so Culloden's own, and then Lord Gordon's are going to join, just so we don't have like a little gap there in between. Pikemen. Right, there we know. And we know what the Spanish have brought. I figure I can move this cannon down there. Oh, here comes the Scottish mercenaries. I've kind of left the gap here, and I don't really have... Oh, they were sent away. And I don't really have anything to plug the gap with. Oh. Ooh. I mean, there's nothing much I can do than just trying to hold on to what we have here. Oh, you're back. Good. Head there. Okay, the guard, infantry. It's gotta have to come back at this point. Or at least temporarily. To give them a little breathing room. And then have the infantry open fire. The Irish down there is in desperate need of aid. Oh, you're down to 50 men now. Actually, then we'll order this brigade back as well. And have the line infantry open up behind. Right, they were forced away. No! The Irish were overrun. I still have 2 Irish units left. Actually, 1 Irish unit left. And then the pikemen have gone all the way around. Right, the Irish brigade just forced away. The Grenadier brigade is being pushed back. And all the troops here are in kind of dire need of being replaced. Right, I'll allow them to come up here and go into the canister. I cannot hold on for much longer here. That's a shame. I didn't realize the Irish brigade was that hard beset by the enemy. Right, give the these guys a little bit of breathing room. Oh now when they start to level all these volleys into us, that's not looking good. Lord Gordon's brigade, I figure you need to leave now. And then line infantry. And then a lot of these. And now I will bring the remnants of the army up here while I'm organizing. Ah, we've got one of the Irish are coming back. The other one's being chased off. I think unfortunately we might just have oh, a unit is out of shot. Have we really fought that hard? This gun can do nothing to aid here. 79. Ah, no, that one was forced away. 58, 75, 89. See about saving as many of the regiments as possible here. We're gonna have some units still on the field. Here comes the reinforcements, all the way over there. This cannon, the amount of oh, it's all Scottish mercenaries that's coming up here. Come on, fire before they are able to melee you. Yes, you will. Cavalry's gone in. Scottish Grenadiers are about to come up and fire there. Oh, the cavalry almost won that fight. In a lot of it was due to the fire of the canister. We got Spanish unit coming back. I guess a lot of these guys are out of ammo. Can I speed up these two cavalry units? I sent an entire brigade out there. I forgot about them. Let's see, are they about to... There's a cannon coming up. Enemy Dutch infantry. I figured this is actually the stronger of the enemy units. This one's already previously been forced away. And then you will come to that end. Are you actually hitting anything when you're firing? I think we might have to pull back even further here, just to get these guys to come closer to us. 3 regiments here. 2 here. Ah, the cavalry! Cavalry has arrived. Time for you to go. Right. Push up again. Let's deal with this one. Heavy cavalry just came in. Scottish mercenaries. Oh, you're stuck on the... Oh, you broke them. Huh. Move up on the flank. Bring this unit with you. Heavy cavalry come this way. I'm not interested. As much as I would like to break down those traitors, it's actually now I don't think the angle's here. I don't know where you guys fired or why you decided to fire. It looks like victory is achieved. The slaughter that took place on this field is immense. And I think if I had known that the enemy was gonna turn up their entire force, or the entire reinforcement army of 10,000 men roughly, was all gonna turn up right behind me, then I would not have chosen to defend this hill. We've got like 10,000 men dead on this side, and then 10,000 dead on this side, roughly. The only thing that I'm worried about is that a large part of the Irish Brigade will have been destroyed because of this. Anyways, now come the fun part of getting rid of their stupid dug-in cannon positions. So I'll go ahead and do that. Hopefully, by the time that is done, the game will not have crashed. But here we go. The Battle of Paris. And here's the result of the battle. We deployed 21,000 men, but as we saw, only about 7,000 of those men actually took to the field. The only reinforcement army that actually took part in the battle were a few of the Fitzjames heavy cavalry that came in at the end. Otherwise, I just used my 7,000 men army. What we can see here is that the enemy deployed 17,000 to my 21,000. I lost 4,600 men in the battle, while the enemy lost 14,000, close to 15,000 men, with only 2,500 men remaining after the battle, compared to the 16,000 remaining of my force. What I can see here is that I lost about, what, 6, 7, 8 units. Most of it being cavalry, where my 8 units of cavalry is now 2. So 6 of the units lost were cavalry, but it looks like 2 units of infantry, where it looks like Gordon's brigade is full, the Guard Culloden own brigade is full, the Irish have lost 1 unit, and then I figure it's one of the regular musket men. Could be that it's a named unit. I did notice, though, at the very end there, that Wallace Warband was one of the units that stayed on the field until the very end. In terms of kills, we've got 124 foot-pound. It's a long battle. 24 pounder gun killed 1,600 enemies. Then we have another gun killing 889. This might be interesting. Scottish Line Infantry, 2 of them, killing very high numbers, so we'll keep in mind 46 and 111 in terms of the units remaining. Guard Infantry, 80, could be Culloden's own, 200 or 510. Another Guard, Lord Gordon's regiment, keep in mind the score here, or what amount of troops is left, because that is going to tell us as we go on to take a look at what's left here. Oh yeah, here's a lot of zeros for everyone that didn't take part. General Staff managed to get 30. I'm not entirely sure how. Perhaps enemy units retreated through. One of the Irish brigades, part of the Irish brigade, did really poorly, unfortunately. Right, but there's that. With that, I'm anticipating quite the lag, as the French nation will be destroyed by this, because they hold no positions in Europe. And there we have it. Raise the flag, he says. And Paris is now mine. Region captured. Nation destroyed, France. Although it actually wasn't one of the requirements for the campaign to destroy France, but we did. France will rise again, though. A new nation arise, the Cherokee Nations. So, yeah, the French lose control of a lot of their holdings in America. So the Cherokee Nation rises, and the pirates rise. That's actually worse. The bloody pirates turn up again. So those islands are now pirate. It should make it easier for me to attack and conquer them, though. With this, I figure that New France will actually sign a peace treaty with them. There's no need to go after them. What we need now is to sweep down here in the North American campaign. Since France is gone, all the big armies here can actually combine into better armies that will head down through here. And then all the troops that I have here will now have to fight the Spanish, and the idea now is to make it down towards Gibraltar. I figure we'll fight the Spanish at Gibraltar first before we try and take on Madrid, because actually I can take Madrid on the way, and perhaps we can force these troops to actually come up and meet us. But that is what is left here. In terms of what I'm going to do, with France is I'm most likely going to allow them to come back or re-establish as a nation. I will not try and hold on to this. What I will do, though, is I will completely rebuild France into the shape that I want it, which would be without military ports, for one, and then will probably reduce their ability in terms of industry as well, which they've already have, actually. They don't actually have that much infantry. A lot of it is religious schools, which is stupid. What kind of interesting troops can I recruit here? Nothing interesting besides French line infantry, which I believe I already could out here in Alsace-Lorraine. We'll go ahead and get more troops, specialist troops, but then I think we will in much leave a lot of this. I do think Brussels, perhaps I should allow, I don't know if Belgium can spawn, otherwise we could give that up to the Dutch and aid them in their fight against the Prussians, because now Prussians were an ally, now they're becoming a little bit of a nuisance. They hold a lot of territory in Central Europe, and we need a counterbalance to that. And part of that would be the Dutch. And then a resurgent France. But a resurgent France that is under my control. Although that's very unlikely, but you know what I mean. With that said, I think we're going to end it right here, because that battle was long enough as it is. And I actually, before I cut away here, one thing that I forgot to do is, of course, we need to check on the units. I went through all of the statistics and made sure we could see what unit will want. Now let's go ahead and take a look at who they are. So, Wallace Warband is at 87 men left. Jared is at 101. And let's go through, then we have, who are you? You're no special. And then, let's see, 130 for MacDonald, Clanranald. And then we've got Lord Gordon's regiment, 1st Foot Guards. Perhaps not interesting. Here is the Gordon Highlanders, 57 men left. So you can check what they did then. It'll be easier to check how many they killed. Then for the Irish, with the Irish Freedom Fighters, they survived at 72 men. James Graham's Own survived at 140. And I believe that is all the named units for that. And then Culloden's Own was a guard infantry with 80 men left. And I think that's everyone. I'm not entirely sure if I've lost any units or anyone that was completely destroyed. It's cost me 23,000 to replenish that. 800 for the units that came in there. And yeah. Now, well, I'll say, as I always say, hopefully you guys enjoy this, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.